This is Chew on This with your host, Monique Baker McCormick, and her co-host, Michael Van Tull, powered by the McCormick Report, Detroit's longest-running online community newsletter since 2008.
Well, welcome to Chew on This, our Father's Day edition. Thank you so much again for tuning in today with my co-host, Michael Van Tull. We're here in celebration of Father's Day. I know for me, Father's Day is so vital to our community, so vital to the success of our village. Mm-hmm. My father, I always say I wouldn't know what a man was supposed to treat me like if it wasn't for having my father in my life. Mm-hmm. So it's so vitally important, and I know you feel the same about Father's Day.
Yes, I learned so much from my dad. He was a Salvation Army officer, a major, and that's where he retired from, the Salvation Army, and before he passed. And I still remember the lessons that he taught me for so many years. And there were some times when I would go to some of the services, because he's an ordained minister, and I thought that it was, here we gotta go again, we gotta go to church again. But now I want those times back.
It paid off, and you.
Yes,
yeah.
but now I remember rushing those days off, and now I'm here, ready to bring them back, and I can't. So enjoy your dads now.
Amen.
Enjoy your dads. Learn from them.
Yes.
And because there are going to be days when you wake up and he's going to be gone, and you're going to wish that he was here. Yes.
Yeah, and I am so very blessed to have my dad still.
Yes.
B.T. Baker. Many people know him. He's the karaoke king in town.
Yes.
And, he has taught me, like I said, what a man is supposed to treat me like. Mm-hmm. But he also taught me about being the best that I can be. He would tell me, if it is to be, it is up to me. And I have that like ingrained in my head, because that's what he would tell me all my life. And he leads by example,
and
all the time.
He enjoys life, and you can tell through his singing.
Yes.
He enjoys what he's doing. He enjoys life.
Yes.
And he has talent, and that makes a big difference too.
He does. And then I have another very important man in my life, my stepfather. Mm-hmm. He's been instrumental too. He's been a part of most of my life, and came in and helped with my campaign. He's been my campaign manager, advisors. So I have so many men that have influenced me that are good men. And I want to just thank all of those fathers out there that are truly there in the life of their child.
Making a difference.
Make a difference, because it truly makes a difference in who your child grows up to be. And so today we want to wish all of the fathers out there happy Father's Day. And we have a special guest that are going to come in and talk a little bit about why Father's Day is important to them.
Yes.
In addition, the other question to ask, right?
And that is, who would you like to highlight for Father's Day? So it's going to be interesting to hear some of our guests that are here in the studio.
Yes, and because who would you like to highlight? It varies, right?
Yes,
because maybe it's your brother,
or grandfather,
that's right, or cousin,
or stepfather,
or right.
There's so many to choose from.
It is.
And another thing that's good that man is in your life as you grow up too. I wanted to say that earlier. You make a difference when you're there in the life of your kids, and that's so key. if you can be there for them, because that's how they learn. That's how
right.
you can lead by example.
And you know, when you talk about just being there in the life of a child, you know, I always talk about how in our Black community we aren't marrying as much, and so you don't see those families that stick together like they used to. You
Yes.
know, they would stick it out no matter what. And I know it's because women, we have the ability and we have the financial ability to go off and not have to deal with certain things. But I think it does take away from the stability that a child can, when they can have their father
Yeah,
and
the
their
overall
mother.
impact is better when the mother and father are in the child's life. Now, it doesn't always happen that way, and there's nobody
That's
to
right.
blame for some of those things, because
Right.
sometimes that's life. But if you can, I think it does make things better for that child if they're both there, if both parents.
So next we're gonna have some guests come on that's in the studio. So just stay tuned. We'll be back. All right, welcome back to Chew on This, our special Father's Day edition.
And Diane is here. Thank you, Diane, for being one of our vendors here at our Father's Day Health Fair. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes, and so our conversation today is all about Father's Day and how special fathers are to, you know, all of us, right? We wouldn't be here without
That's
our
right.
fathers.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes we have fathers in our lives, and some people don't have fathers, their biological father, that is. But there's always a village uncle or cousin or a grandfather that steps in, right?
Yes.
So what is how is Father's Day important to you, Diane?
Father's Day to me is just a way to honor the men in our lives. I feel like, women, Mother's Day is the big deal.
Dominate.
Give me attention.
They dominate everything.
It's like
yes.
Father's Day. Okay, yeah, look at your room.
Or tie.
But Father's Day is significant because, again, it's just a way to highlight, the men in our lives that play a role. So, again, it might not be that biological person, but someone that's there to support and mentor and, be a guide and provide education. So, again, it can be an uncle, it could be, a neighbor. In our family, we have a huge tribe.
That's right.
I have 3 brothers, and their sons and their grandsons, and we all come together. They have different events where it's just the guys, which is nice.
Here's a question that might be a little bit tough, but who would you like to highlight today for Father's Day? You don't have to mention their names, but because you said there are so many in your life. But who would you like to highlight?
There's a couple of people, of course. My father,
Right.
Sam Logan.
Okay.
He's no longer with us physically, but definitely with us in spirit.
I loved your father. I really did. I mean, he was just an overall good person, period.
Yes.
Good
Yes.
person. The longtime editor of the Michigan Chronicle. So, yes, I loved him.
Yes. So, yeah, definitely my father. I just enjoyed the time I spent with him talking. And that's what I miss the most. I would just go over to his house and we would just sit and talk for hours about everything. And I just was always trying to pick his brain because I just wanted to know as much as he knew.
And that's one thing I liked about the previous generations of fathers and the mothers too. They talked. You had conversations with them. You learned from them. That doesn't go on that much anymore. Matter of fact, they don't even have that many of these big holiday dinners anymore. Where all the family comes over
together.
Right.
Yeah. So some things have changed, but that conversational piece. You learn so much
Yes.
just sitting there and listening, and the conversations were always entertaining.
Yes.
And so, who else would you like to highlight?
I would like to highlight my husband, William Taylor.
See?
The father
Good
of our
answer.
children.
Good answer.
Perfect answer. Perfect answer.
We have 2 adult sons,
Oh.
and he's been a good example to them. They
That's
enjoy
great.
time together. You know, they have hobbies and interests that they do together. That's not something that I'm a part of, and that's fine. But yeah, my husband and my brothers. You know, I have 3 brothers that are still living that are phenomenal dads to their kids and their grandkids. And again, they're there to support the other men and women in our family. So not just their children, but their nephews, their nieces, and they're out in the community doing work. And one of the things that, you know, my dad told us was, you know, when I'm gone, when someone says my name, you can hold your head high.
That's right.
Wow.
That means a lot because, again, he's been gone almost 14 years, but when someone says Sam Logan,
That says a lot.
there is no shame.
A
None.
lasting legacy.
Yes,
Wow, this
definitely
was
a
a
lasting legacy.
Very engaging conversation.
Yes,
I learned some things out of this conversation.
Yes,
Man,
yes.
thank you so much, Diane,
Thank you.
for stopping in and again for being a vendor
Yeah.
at our Father's Day Health Fair. Thank you so much.
Now, can I just add,
Sure.
it's so important for our men to take care of their health.
Yes.
Some of the information that we have is about our hypertension management and diabetes management. And a lot of times I go out to where the men are. So I'll go to barbershops and say, look, you guys need to take care of yourself. You're setting an example for the young men in your life. So women, we're accustomed to getting poked and prodded. Men, you know, you might get a sports physical in school and then they don't
True.
necessarily go
Go
to
back.
the doctor.
That's right.
That is
So-
true.
You know, when I at events, I tell them, take this information, share with other men, take it to wherever men gather and share that information because
I'm
it's so
glad.
important that
Yes.
men take care of themselves. Again, they're being an example to the young ones around them and they have to show them that it's okay to take care of yourself.
Well, I'm going to stop at your table and
Mm-hmm.
pick up some brochures so I can learn some more too.
And thank you so much,
Yes,
Diane,
thank
for
you.
mentioning that because, you know, you're so right about men not taking care of themselves like they should. And we need you, men, to take care of yourself because we need you here with us. So, again, thank you for mentioning that. And thank you so much for stopping in and sharing with us today.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
All
absolutely.
right. Thank you. Well, welcome back to Chew on
This is
with
Chew on
Monique
This with
Baker
your host.
McCormick. That's me.
And Michael Van Tool, that's me.
And this is our special Father's Day edition where we have guests in the house
It's
today.
been so much fun as people come in from the Father's Day Health Fair, and we've got another guest.
Yes, we do. He's my big brother. One of my favorite people, my big brother, Bruce BT Baker. And we're going to just talk about why Father's Day is important to us.
Mhm.
Why do you think it's important? Here's the mic for you.
I think Father's Day is important
Scooch over a little bit. Yep.
because, you know, I think in society, because, you know, not, you know, being disrespectful of the, you know, women's movement or whatever, it's a lot of, you know, empowerment that's kind of placed in that way. And, you know, I don't know if that was
Intentional.
intentional
I get
over the
it.
years, even though I may suspect that, you know, others may want that to happen. I think it's important that we all, you know, celebrate the fathers because, you know, I don't believe that I could do the things that I did without fathers, not just my own father, but some of the other people who, helped me to grow and just told me the right things, or even stood up for me in situations where they knew I was gonna make a mistake, and then they were there for me after I made a mistake, even though I didn't know. That's something I wasn't planning, but I knew that these people were there.
It takes a village, and
Right.
and that's what we talked about earlier. How it's not just about the biological father; that it's about the village and the people in it that can fit in where they need to, and that's what you're really talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, and to pick up on what you were saying, we do need more attention placed on fathers and Father's Day, because mothers and women get so much attention, and men, we need that self-esteem. We need to feel important too, and I think that's a reason that we need to really focus on Father's Day. Now,
and before we go on, I want to applaud our fathers.
Absolutely,
right? Yes,
it's very important. Now, on this day, who would you like to highlight for this Father's Day? What individual?
Well, I have to highlight my own father, because he was, there for me, all the way through, and he always showed me the ups and downs of life, and other people, and he introduced me to a lot of men that stood up for me and were there for me until now. His friends became people who I confided in, and they were all good men, and
the village.
Yeah. So,
and you have many features of your dad. There's some father sons that don't quite look alike,
right.
for certain reasons. But in this case, you do look like your dad.
Yeah, I think as I got older, something happened, because I didn't hear that a lot, or I didn't think that a lot.
Right.
But yeah, I had.
But now you do.
Yeah, when I looked in the mirror one day, and
you can see a lot of him in you. Yeah.
It's like that. What's that? What is it? Geico or Progressive? It's like that commercial where they say you become your parents.
And it's funny. I don't want to really say where I was at, but I was in the bathroom, and I was looking in the mirror, and I said, I look like my dad. And I couldn't run away from it after that.
But it's a good thing, though. It's a good thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a good thing.
Yep. Yes.
Well, thank you, brother,
Yes,
for
thank
coming
you.
on and just sharing with us what you feel about Father's Day. And so we're going to have my actual dad on the show to celebrate Father's Day next. So keep watching. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cool.
Absolutely.
And this is our Father's Day edition. And we're so glad that you are still with us today. We have a very special guest, another very special guest, my father, B.T. Baker, in the house. And we're going to ask a couple questions.
Yes, and it's been so interesting, and I love doing these type of interviews. We're here at our Men's Day, Father's Day Health Fair, and so B.T. Baker, what makes Father's Day important to you?
Well, you get a chance to get gifts, and you find that you are wanted. We don't get the same thing as Mother's Day, but
we know that we've been talking about that, and it's very well known. But we've got to carve out a niche for ourselves, and that's what Father's Day is all about.
And that's why I started doing these Father's Day health fairs, because I see the disparity, what women get versus what men get, and I think the fathers, and at least my father right here, deserves to be praised for all of the things that you have done and accomplished. You raised me, and then we just had my brother on. So you've done a fantastic job. So one of the reasons I started it was because of you, you know, and the influence that you had in my life. And so we wanted to know who was influential in your life that you want to feature. Who do you want to highlight? Right.
I don't really know. I love karaoke, so I'm going out and singing everywhere and enjoying myself.
I think people watching now
in fact,
recognizing you.
Yeah,
Yes.
in fact, going to karaoke give you a chance to see people that you normally don't see, and you get a chance to enjoy the atmosphere and everything else. So that's what I spend my time doing mostly. I live by myself, so I have to do those things around the house and stuff, and a lot of doctor visits. I do those.
Yeah.
And my daughter, I'm so proud of you. You always been. I could tell you some stories.
High achieving.
I could tell you.
Is what I would say.
Yeah, well, high achiever, but she's steadfast. She ready,
a fighter.
She really will.
Yeah.
She stands in something that she believes in. She won't back down from it, And I used to look at her when she was little, She would, the older girls and stuff like that, be, you know how they do, and when kids are cruel to each other, well, she wouldn't take that. She just kept going, doing the things that she wanted to do.
But
that impressed me.
Well, thank you, but this isn't about me.
I know. I was gonna say
this is about you.
But this is what your father is all about. Instead of making the focus on him and Father's Day, he's turning around to highlight you.
Right, and I really do appreciate that. But again, I wouldn't be here without you and what you taught me. And I think for you, if you think about it, your dad, my grandfather, was very instrumental in how you turned out. So talk a little bit about your father.
Yeah, well, my father didn't appreciate Father's Day. I don't even think we celebrated Father's Day, but he was always fair, and he was always working. And
he had a work ethic.
Of course, he liked to party some too. So that's where I get that from.
Right.
And he always was kind to my mother. That's what and I've never been able to be, cruel to a woman, because of that. I love my mother so much that I practice that. I don't.
And that's what a father does, a good father.
And that's what I mentioned earlier, because
I remember.
I said in the earlier segment that you showed me what a man...
How a man should treat a woman.
Exactly, how I should be treated, and I should be respected.
That's right.
So I wouldn't have known that if it hadn't been for your teachings.
Yeah, but most men... I wouldn't say most men. I shouldn't say that, but I have seen some people, misuse kindness. Because most women try to use kindness with the guys and stuff like that. And, they're nowadays, women are taking a step up, and these guys they don't understand that. They kind of back off from it because they think that. Anytime a woman's not
subservient.
Right. And then they don't want to deal with that. But I'll tell somebody in a minute. I don't like that stuff around me, and I can tell you a story, but I don't know if it's good enough for the podcast.
Okay, X-rated or something.
No, it's not X-rated. It's not X-rated, but it's cruel.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll just figure out something else to talk about, because this is about you and
it's supposed to be about you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
how great you are and fathers are in our life. And so we want to celebrate you, and we thank you for coming on to our podcast. This is a new venture, and I think we're going to do great things around this podcast. It's about making a difference in the lives of people in our community. And that's what we do every day.
Yes, and thank you for your reflections on how you feel and what's important to you on Father's Day. And we appreciate you sharing those thoughts with us.
And we'll have you back to talk about karaoke.
The
next
karaoke
time.
king
That's
in
right.
Detroit,
That's
B.T.
right.
Baker.
I don't know about the king, but I love it.
I've listened to you many times. I've watched you
Yes.
many times. So you are a great performer,
Yes.
great
yes.
singer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You so much
Thank you.
for coming. Well, welcome back to Chew on This, our special Father's Day edition. We are honoring fathers in the community. And Mike, I don't think I told you Happy Father's
Oh,
Day.
well, thank you. I have a
Yes.
23-year-old, and he is completely in charge and runs my household.
Well, you know what? That's a good thing when you have a young man that knows how to run things.
Yes,
You know,
and-
that's important,
And
right?
one of these days, he's 23. I'm gonna get this father thing down. I'm getting close. Getting close.
I'm pretty sure you're a wonderful father.
He is. He is.
Well, Mo is here. Mo's from Modern Mind and one of the vendors at our Father's Day Health Fair. Thank you, Mo, for stopping in and manning a table here for our guests.
Thank you for having us. It's been a humbling experience and truly a wonderful experience. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Excellent
thank
event.
you.
And I'm glad you accepted our invitation, and I'm glad that we were able to work it out and have you here as a
Thank you
as a
for having
guest.
us.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Why is Father's Day so important to you, Mo?
It's a great question, but it's truly, I think it's a broad question. I think every day is Father's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Fathers all around the world deserve to be awarded that value that they truly deserve every single day. And having one specific day for them is truly not enough. That's why I say every single day is Father's Day. As just like mothers, Mother's Day we have it in May, but every day is Mother's Day. They deserve to be appreciated, and their value is just so immense. It's really grateful is such it's an undermining word. There's so much more to just appreciating them for one day.
And I totally agree with you. I just had that conversation with my stepfather, and we don't really need a special day to celebrate. We should celebrate every day. However, I know for sure that here in America, we don't acknowledge our dads and our fathers and the work that they do. And so that's one of the reasons we wanted to do this today. Yeah.
Absolutely. I completely 100% agree with
so,
you. Having that specific day for them truly really opens up everyone's mind, especially when we see the sales out, at different places around the state as Father's Day sale. Just seeing that Father's Day sale, people will say,
Fathers matter.
Fathers matter. You know what?
Yes.
Father's Day is coming on the corner. We
Yes.
all get busy. Let me reach out to my father, see how he's doing,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Go.
Mo, who would you like to highlight on this Father's Day?
Yeah, honestly, there's so many I can name, but one specific person is definitely my own father.
Mm-hmm.
He's still with us, and I'm grateful for that. And late 70s, early 70s actually, and he's still, a strong man, and I pray for the best and all the strength for him and for everyone's fathers out there. But he's truly been an inspiration. He came as an immigrant, escaped war. He had 4 kids overseas, and so it was truly a miracle bringing them to the States. Just like many fathers out there who had the same struggles, I think they went through a lot more struggles than what we have ever gone through or what we will ever go through.
Generally,
Yeah.
previous generations, we had talked about that a little bit earlier, previous generations, they had different experiences tougher times
Yeah.
than we do today.
Right.
I call you Mo. That's your nickname.
Yes.
What is your full name?
Full name is Mohammed. It's just easier for everyone to say Mo, but Mohammed, and yeah.
And you represent Modern Mind. Tell us a little bit about Modern Mind and what you do.
Yeah, Modern Mind Clinic is an outpatient psychiatric clinic. We deal with medication management. We also have other treatments in our office, TMS, which stands for transcranial magnetic stimulation, as well as Spravato as ketamine. Both treatments are used to treat major depressive disorder, MDD. Yeah, excellent treatments who have helped many people and continue to help people. Yeah.
And where are you located?
We're located in Southfield, right on 9 Mile in Southfield. A lot of people know the building as the IBM building.
Yes.
Or I
Okay.
think it's
You
called,
just said it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, 90% of people now
Yeah.
know
Yes.
exactly where you are.
Yes.
Exactly.
Right by the freeway, Southfield
Yes,
Freeway.
exactly. Right on 9 Mile in Southfield.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, we thank you
Yeah.
so much for joining us, and thank you for coming out
My
today.
And Monique, it was
Yeah.
an important part because we were focusing on physical health and,
And
mental
mental health,
So
yes.
you being here, makes it full circle because
Yes.
we wanted to focus on physical and mental health. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Honestly, it was an honor for me to be here. And like I said earlier, I'm sorry, I'll keep it very brief. A lot of people stigmatize mental health, especially men. But it's important to reach out whenever you need help. Even as simple as you're a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit of stress, a little bit depressed, reach out.
Yeah.
See someone. There's nothing wrong with it. So that's my message to everyone around the world, especially the men, or especially the dads. If there's a little bit of overwhelmingness, please reach out to someone or someone in the mental health field.
Well said.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Mo.
I appreciate you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
This is Chew on This with your host, Monique Baker McCormick, and her co-host, Michael Van Tull, powered by the McCormick Report.